Hi Dinesh. So I came across this question and I thought it would be nice to show you how you can do this out of the box. So there is a way in ServiceNow that you can use moderation tasks and you actually set up some moderation rules to allow us to moderate any replies that goes to those questions. So if you go to this, I'm on my personal development instance. The first things first is we want to set up some moderation settings. So if I go to the moderation settings, there's a few things I can do here. So right now, this comes out essentially empty and you'd have to fill it in. But a few things you could do is you could set specific users that you never want to moderate, specific users you always want to moderate, and these are slush buckets. So you will have to essentially select them manually one by one, or you could select all and just move them across. Same with users always moderated. You could also do it by groups. So if I click on this, I can see all the groups and move them across like so. So based on your requirement, what I would suggest is to just add all the user groups to the right for users group always moderated, and then if there are any exceptions, to just add those, remove those groups from the list below and add them to the groups that are never moderated. One example could be any of your customer support agents that essentially are the experts that would answer them. You might want to add them into that list. So just for the demo purposes, I'm just going to show you what this looks like with all of the groups added in. So I will now impersonate a user from one of these groups. So if I go to this, I'm impersonating a lean Morton at the moment. So you can see I've got a question here. If I just reply quickly, so just as something relevant, if I reply now, as you can see, there is a comment that comes out that says reply posted and is under moderation. This is also emailed out to the user as well, and I can show that in a moment. So now we have a task that will be generated for someone from the moderation team to essentially deal with this and review this answer. So if I go to moderation tasks and all, there is an assignment group that is called community moderators that is assigned to. If I click on the open active record, I could then look at the content that the user has put in. So I can see here we've got the content ID. If I go to that, I can see this was the answer that the user essentially submitted. So I'm happy with that. If I go back now, because that's essentially the answer record, I'm going to go back to the task and essentially approve the content. So if I do this, it will essentially ask me to add in some resolution notes. So approved, nothing offensive as an example. So let me just add that in, and you see it's close complete. So now if I go back to this question, we should see a reply. Perfect. So I now can see a reply. So let's go back now and let's let's do another comment where I then reject it just to show what that would look like, and then we can show off the notifications. So if I now add also please add this from the beginning as an example, because that's not so nice. So now if I click on this, I will be able to just refresh my task. I can see another open record, and yeah, if I go back to checking the content again, so just going through this to view that, and also please add this from the beginning. Okay, so if I just go back a few steps, and what I will do now is reject the content as not user friendly, and let me just reject this. So now if I go back to the post itself, I will, as you can see, it's not been added. So let me just show what the notifications would look like. on these. So if I just go to emails, let's go to the email logs essentially. Okay, let's start from the first answer that we did. So I'll open the first two here. Okay, so essentially the first one that you would see is an answer you recently created is being moderated. Now this is out of the box notification, so again you can modify this to add a little bit more design, personalize it, but this is what is built out of the box. And then once you've accepted it, or the moderation team has accepted it, you will then get this email. So the answer you recently created has been approved, and this will take you to the answer and the question. So if I just click on that, that should take me to the record itself. Okay, so if we just go back to rejections, just to show what this looks like. Okay. It's been rejected, it will no longer be visible in the community. Right. And then also we've got a few others. So there's one where the account has been banned. So let's just quickly look at this. And account has been banned by a moderator. You will no longer be able to post content in the community. So this again is one of the moderator settings that you can set up. So if we just go back to the moderation settings, and you can see here with user banning, if you enable banning users, if there are any threshold that's achieved that more than 2 times been rejected, then it will ban the user. So in my instance, Alien has 2 rejections and therefore has been banned. But you can configure this to turn this off or turn it on and increase it and whatnot. There's also filters that you get for abuse. So if there's any sensitive words that's used, you can then ensure that those are not accepted straight away. So that's a few things you can do out of the box. There are also for new users. So if there's any users that haven't answered questions before, you can set a criteria for the first 5. They would be moderated and then they wouldn't. There's just a few things you can do out of the box. I hope that helps you. A few things I would say, if you are looking to use the slush buckets and other groups, you would have to maintain this going forward. So if there's any new groups added or new users with the role to use the community, you would need to update this going forward. What I would suggest to make it a little bit more automated is you can create some flows that whenever a group is added or user with the relevant roles, to then add them to this. So that could be something you do as a nightly flow or weekly, depending on the instance and the performance of it. But just a few things to consider. I hope that's helped you. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you. Bye.